to go ahead and do some introductions. It is, oh, I'm so excited. Here are some powerful women who are going to talk about how you can connect creatively with your community. The first one I'm going to introduce is Victoria Tseng. Victoria, oops, my thing did, okay, there we go. She has, I love the story that she tells me and all the things that she has shared with me. But what I didn't know, and she didn't mention, she's an attorney. Oh my God, Victoria, I didn't know that. That's great. She went to school at UC Berkeley and then Cornell Law School. And she has been all around the world. She's lived and worked in New York, Paris, London, Beijing, Hong Kong, but has always kept Bay Area as her home base. Very seasoned in the business and in luxury and art. I love that you're a connoisseur and an expert in art. Victoria's production hovers, you know, it always depends on the time, and especially right now, right around 10 million. And she's with the Grubb company. Linda Yu, I know her well. She works in our office. She's on the Leah Tonger team. Linda is an amazing human being. She came here from Taiwan as a child and went to school at Santa Barbara. Lucky dog.
Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. It says UC Santa Barbara in your bio. Just
I know it. There's a typo.
okay. I thought I was crazy there. And always brings me lots of humor and fun and amazing ideas. She worked in Malaysia for several years, building out a big 30,000 square foot manufacturing plant, but came home to the Bay Area and in the 90s opened up the first boba tea shop. Did you say it boba or baba?
Boba.
Boba, I thought so. So she's an entrepreneur at heart, and she came into our office 2 years ago?
A year ago.
Oh my gosh. And has been just a lightning bolt and does right around 8 to 10 million. I think you've got over 10 million this year. And just a joy. And then I just got to meet Felicia, and we had a fabulous phone call yesterday getting to know her. She is Oakland native, went to school in Oakland, went to high school in Oakland, got her MBA in leadership from Holy Names University. She is a homeowner here, has born, raised, and really, this is her place. She's with Winkler, the Winkler Group Real Estate, Danny Winkler, and he had highly recommended her, and I'm so glad because when she shared her program and what she does, I got super excited. So I'm going to pull up the questions, but if there's anything I missed about any of this, please tell me so that I make sure I've got, let's see. There we go. Okay. So did I miss anything about any of you? I got you. Anything? Okay. So I'm going to go across and start with Felicia, then go to Victoria, and then go to Linda. What are you doing now to creatively connect? What have you been doing to connect with your community? Go ahead, Felicia.
So I'm pretty old school with my connection. So I'm still the realtor that mails out. I have a farm that I mail to monthly. And so as soon as the pandemic hit, I just immediately reached out to my sphere and past clients in the neighborhood that I farm and just sort of educated them on a couple of things. People were concerned about their mortgages and what would happen given if they, with them not having a job. And then the other thing was everyone wanted to know, like, what's going on with the market? Like, is it going to crash? Am I going to be able to buy a house, buy one, get one free, like what's going on with the market. And so I immediately kicked into gear and started to educate my community about what all of this meant. And I continue to do so weekly. I reach out to people who I recall having specific situations and just sort of speaking to them directly about what's going on as it relates to their situation. So it's really personalized. It's not a general umbrella in terms of my outreach. My database includes people that I've actually done business with, are currently working with. And so I just reached out to those guys immediately to sort of help them diminish the panic associated with what was going on in the market.
So tell us about the program you're doing that I'm actually going to have you come to our office and teach.
Okay. So 4 years ago, I created a workshop that I do called Get Your House in Order. We've had about 3,500 people come through the workshop, and it's designed to help people to get their business affairs in order. So what I've recognized, or what I've experienced as a realtor over the last 14 years, is that there are a lot of people who own property, but they don't know how to maintain the asset, or they're in jeopardy of losing the asset, or they just really don't know how to leverage the asset. And so what we do in Get Your House in Order is help people to understand where they are financially, how they can build and maintain their wealth. We talk about everything from making sure you have the right loan, to real estate purchasing and investment, as well as making sure that people have their property set up in a trust, a will. We address the issue of medical directives. We also talk about just financial wealth building. So whether I have an attorney, a financial advisor, a loan officer, and an insurance broker on my panel. And so we cover what we consider to be the essentials around maintaining and protecting one's wealth and building wealth. So Get Your House in Order. It's a 2-hour workshop. We do it absolutely free for the community, because I just feel like the information is so critical that, I clearly, I want to share it with anybody who's willing to listen. And so we take this literally into the streets. I mean, we go into community centers, we take it into churches, we bring it into any community that will allow us to come in to sort of talk about people getting their business in order. And for me, my primary community has been African American. And so in my own community, I just sort of see this gap of wealth, right? Like there's a gap between sort of wealth building, wealth generation. And so Get Your House in Order was built, and it is transforming lives. I mean, we have people coming through the workshop that did not think about home ownership as a tool for building wealth, and we've introduced them to that. We had people would come through the workshop and they worked on a job for 20 years but didn't have enough money to retire, or hadn't been tapping into their 401k. And so Get Your House in Order is designed to sort of wake people up, to shake it up a little bit, to get them to understand the significance of the why you need to save, why you need to invest in real estate and not rent an apartment for 10 years. So we talk about the hard stuff. So I always start the workshop off by saying that you may not like me in the beginning, but in the end, when I get you in a house and I get your 401k set up, you'll appreciate the work that we do.
Oh, thank you, Felicia. That's awesome. Yeah. We know how to make money. Do we know how to keep it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Victoria, tell us a little bit about some of the things you're doing. In fact, Victoria is responsible for this panel because she reached out to me and said, we don't want to hear from the $100 bazillion producers all the time because they've got a sphere. They've been doing this. We want to hear from the people who are in the trenches trying to just gut it out. So come have some of us get on. And then she told me some of the things they're doing, and I went, let's go for it. So Victoria, some of the things you're doing.
Thank you, Tina. First of all, before I start, Felicia, your program is awesome. I wish I had known you and done a program like that when I was 20, you know, because that would have changed my life and many other people. Honestly, it's awesome. So thank you for what you're doing. Please teach the rest of us how to do it too.
I got you.
You got it. It's okay. I love it. Tina, I as I shared with you before, and I actually prepared a few slides that if I'm allowed to share with the audience, I'd love to do that.
See, no problem.
And okay, so I'm gonna share my screen and see if I can get this to work. Sorry.
I may have to have Gustavo give you permission.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Is he on?
Yeah, let me go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
He's in charge. He's the
Okay, he's the boss. He's the boss.
Yeah, let's see.
director. He's the driver on our little bus. All right. So while he's preparing the slide, why don't you share a few things, or do you want me to go to Linda and come back to you?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, Linda, you. Linda is amazing. So Linda, tell us what are some of the things that you're doing and your team are doing to creatively connect. And I already know one of them, but share it with all of us.
So what our team decided from when Shelter in Place started is we had figured that we really needed to do some things digitally to connect with our sphere and new people. And so they really felt that a Facebook Live or some sort of digital something was what we needed to do. So one of my colleagues and I, one of my team members and I, Lisa, we decided to do a weekly wind down, which to discuss pretty much whatever it is that's happening in the real estate business. We kind of figured the best thing for us was to keep things the most authentic to who we are. So we wanted to keep things somewhat light and but keep it relevant to what people want to know about day to day. So a couple of different episodes that we've done is one, we had a lender come by and talk about what Felicia was saying right when Shelter in Place started. People were panicked. They wanted to know about mortgages and what was going on and what they needed to do if they couldn't pay their mortgages. So we had a lender on to talk about that. And then we also have a lot of different lenders. We all work with a lot of different lenders and to talk about different programs and different ways that they can purchase a house, those type of things. Another thing that we did is we sometimes do our sneak previews of listings that we do. And like I said, we kept it light. So we were there together and Lisa and I had a clear shower curtain between us to keep ourselves healthy, and following guidelines. And
Tell them how you did that. You guys built a PVC frame.
Yeah. So we built a PVC frame so we could sit next to it because we had to figure out a way to get us in the same screenshot. So we could sit right next to each other, but there was a clear plastic PVC screen so we wouldn't be spraying any germs to each other. So that's one of the things that we did. This week, Friday, if you catch us, we're planning on doing what it's like to do showings so that buyers will actually give us a break, because we've all received the call, 1 hour before, hey, I want to go see this house in an hour. And we really wanted to really walk a buyer through the hoops that we have to jump through now to actually show them a house. So we'll go through each and all those little details about what's involved in showing a house, like, signing the PED, trying to navigate the appointment process, and then the gloves, the sanitary wipes, everything that we have to go through just so that we can show them this one house. It's just not same way as it used to be. And we're also doing a sneak preview of a new listing, a really great listing in Castro Valley, if anyone has a buyer for. So, but we, you know, so those are the things that we're doing. We definitely have the most engagement. They do, Leah and John also do their own little market recaps and whatever. They do their own Zoom recaps on a weekly basis as well. That to me is really great, but it's not quite as fun and not really as authentic to who it is that I am, because I'm not that I'm not aware of what's happening in the market. I just don't process or deliver information like that. So like I said, we try to keep things as authentic to who we are. And John is much more of I like data and numbers, and that's what I'm going to recite to you. So, so we each do something different like that. And, you know, some of the other things that you were, you know, in your questions, Tina, I love using Loom, and that's one of the ways that I connect. When I have to follow up on cold leads, a lot of times I'll send out a Loom, just a Loom follow-up of a picture of me and a listing that they're interested in, and I'll just talk to them. Hey, just saw that you were interested in this listing. Just wanted to follow up and see if you want, you know, any more information, or if there's anything I can do to follow up with you. I do find that Loom does have a better open rate than a normal email.
Linda, explain to people who don't know what Loom is.
Loom is a video attachment that you get. It's an extension that you get on Google, and you download it onto your I don't know technical names, on your extension, and then you can click on the button, and then there's a little bubble of you that'll show up on the screen, and it's I think it's like what Boom Boom is. It's just a video email message that you can send.
And I think you could do it on loom.com as well.
Yeah. So it's super, super easy to use. And also you can do a full recording of CMA as well. So it's a really versatile extension to use.
Yeah, we use it all the time in our office. My poor agents, they're constantly having mice on their thing.
I think that's the hardest thing about being digital, is that we all have to have our faces made up.
Yeah. Victoria, can you share your screen now?
Hey, I'm ready, yes.
Girl, let's see.
Here we go.
And there you are.
So this is my first time using this this platform called Canva. I grew up in the age of PowerPoint, but my colleague taught me how to use this, and this is awesome. So easy. Yeah, I just put together a couple of slides of the ways that you can creatively connect to your community. And when the whole pandemic came down, I had already been following the news in other parts of the world because most of my family lives overseas. And I was pretty, you know, ready to, like, I had toilet paper and food and all kinds of stuff. And I really started asking myself, you know, what am I going to do next? And I know my business will change. And according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, love and belonging is bang in the middle of our needs. And that comes from friendship, intimacy, family, and a sense of connection. And this is why I brought up the subject of community, because I think community goes beyond just where you live. It could be where you work. It could be, you know, what you think your job is. I have a lot of friends who are moms and realtors and, you know, doing 15 other things. And, you know, your job used to be just an intersection of what you love, you're good at, and what pays you. I'd like to talk about this concept called Ikigai, which is more broad. It really covers what you're passionate about, what your mission is, what your vocation should be, and what the world needs. The world has a lot of needs right now, and so that's how I got inspired to do different things. One is supporting a business that has an impact factor, like a social change impact factor. My company, at the Grubb Company, we often give away gifts when our clients close on a property, and they can be customized. This bag company is called Apollos, and they make, you know, custom products. They put workers to work, mothers in poor countries. They receive a fair wage, annual profits, and it helps break the poverty cycle. They often have collaborations with Baby to Baby, which provides diapers and necessities for families in need. And I love this company so much. I used them for my wedding party gifts last year. And all of my guests, you know, really saw how much I cared about not just giving them a gift, but like making an impact on the world. I think you can also figure out ways to support a local business that's tied to your own. Many of us in real estate have our favorite stager, our favorite florist. I have a favorite plant lady. She helped me with staging my listing in Berkeley at Carlton. She literally has everything under the sun. She can deliver. She has interior background design. She's Latino, local business in downtown Berkeley. And this is exactly the kind of business I would like to see survive and persist in my business. So I give shout outs to my other businesses I want to support, not just that I support them, but I promote them on my Instagram, my Facebook, I share with my colleagues. And this is another company that a friend of mine runs. She's a designer. She's usually making the most adorable clothes for children. And now she's making face masks in all different forms out of the same amazing hand engineered cottons. They're very comfortable and resilient and reusable since we're going to be wearing masks for a while. My company has also taken measures to partner with local businesses that we love, like Grand Lake Kitchen has, you know, great food and a long time business that we want to see them survive, and we all need to eat. There's ways for us to offer our clients something convenient, either order off the menu or get a takeaway package, or even just sundries, you know, things like flour. So this is just a great way for us to partner up. You know, we're all trying to do our best and support each other. And then be a partner. For me, I also have been stepping up my efforts in my own brokerage to be helpful to others, to host open house, to teach others how to use a gimbal, how to go live. I've watched like hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos. I practice on my poor husband, and I just try to be there for my colleagues, but also my clients all the time. And I mean, I think all of us are just trying to figure it out. So being helpful goes a heck of a long way. And this is a little bit like Felicia was saying, just keeping in touch. I texted all of my clients this Happy Mother's Day little text, not just the moms, but also the dads. And I got like 85% response. And I got a lot of responses from the dads who realized after COVID how much moms are important when the kids are like, you know, getting boo-boos. They don't cry for dad, they cry for mom. And poor mom is like also trying to, you know, work from home and keep the sanity going. These are great way to just keep in touch. Text, call, post a happy anniversary, happy birthday. Coming soon is Father's Day. You know, you can do this too. Or just anytime you think of someone. And you don't have to have a cute little ad. You could just literally say, I was thinking of you, how you doing? It means a lot today, just to be supportive of each other. And then one thing I like to help people remember is just do the things that you care about, support the organizations you already support. I don't have kids of my own, but I know a lot of people who are in real estate do, and they do a lot of support through their schools. But I support a lot of arts organizations. This is my dog, Kiko, saying hi to you while she eats her breakfast. And, you know, she was a rescue. I support the Shiba Rescue and all kinds of educational organizations as well. I recently joined some Facebook groups and got more active on Nextdoor, just finding a way to provide for those in need. Some things are very simple, like we're out of toilet paper, and some things are a little more complicated as we clear out our houses. When we have spare time, someone else might be able to use that stuff. So it's just really empowering to join forces with your neighbors. One of my neighbors recently made a trip down to a line of cars that are parked on 80, and all these people are living off in their cars. And so we gathered up blankets, socks, undies, and sundries for them to distribute out. And, you know, I felt really great about helping support that, just remembering that homelessness is not disappeared, and even offering to help the elderly to pick up medication or groceries. And just sending thank yous, you know, thank you means a lot. Saying hi means a lot, you know, handwritten, email, text, just, you know, say it. And, you know, now's the time. For me, I really, you know, sometimes I ask myself, do I really make a difference? I mean, I'm not getting, you know, like 10 listings out of doing all of this, but I am getting in touch with my clients who are happy to hear from me. I did get referrals from sending texts and making calls. And sometimes you just have to think positive and do positive, because you only really see the whole picture later. I just want to encourage everyone to, you know, pick your smiles or your frowns accordingly. And these are a list of resources. I'm very happy to share my slides with anybody. I can send it to Gustavo. If you have your own ideas, I'd love to hear it. And after this, let's go get some pizza, guys.
Thank you, Victoria. That was terrific. More than I expected. How cool. Okay, so let's get a little philosophical. I mean, you're going to get business if you connect with the community. There's no way around it. If you're actively out there, you're going to get business. But that's not the only reason why you're doing it. So let's dive a little deeper. Felicia, why do you do this? Why do you put so much work and offer it for free and give it to so many people?
So it's almost like having survivor's remorse. Like, I have been blessed beyond measure, and I can't sit in my house and, you know, with the kind of resources that I have and not do something for others in need. And so it's really easy for me to share, you know, whether it's, I just recently shared a birthday. My birthday was last week, and for my birthday, I did an online fundraiser. And in 24 hours, I raised $3,000 for Moms of Black Boys United. And so that was my birthday gift, right? Like, it was like, you know, friends sent flowers, and I got cupcakes, and I got, you know, gift cards and all of that stuff. But to have people to sort of support the cause, to contribute accordingly, that was the best gift I could have asked for. And, you know, the measure of sort of my blessings are, they just, you know, they exceed my own expectation. And for me to not share that, it just doesn't make it worth it otherwise, right? Like, it just doesn't make it worth it. So it makes it really easy when I, you know, because I'm, you know, it could be different, right? Like, it could be different. I have no family affected by the pandemic. We're all healthy. You know, 95% of my family and friends are still working. So, but I know that it could be different, you know, and so it makes it really easy for me to be there for others in a way that it doesn't disrupt me in any way, right? Like, it doesn't take away. And I feel like, you know, I'm a very spiritual person, and I believe in God, and I just believe that God will take care of me if I take care of others. And so it just sort of works that way.
Love it. Thank you. So, Linda, why do you do this? Why do you reach out? Why do you give back the way you do?
Well, the reason why I love looking at houses, but I think the main reason why I got into the business is there's that moment when you wake up in your house for the first time, and it's like this incredible feeling of everything put together. It's, you know, you're exhausted, you're you're exhausted, you're excited, you're thrilled, you got through this whole moment. And when you wake up in your house for the first time, and there's just this feeling of pride and elation, and that's why I do the job, this work, because I think that everybody should have the opportunity to get that feeling. And so that's one of those things that I ask my clients to do, like that, call me or text me the morning and tell me how you feel that morning when you woke up in your own house. Because there's just so much, there's pride, like we did it, and there's also just like, holy shit, can you believe what we did and the hoops that we had to jump through to get to this moment? Or like, I never thought I could. And another really great woman, single, she kept telling me, everyone told me I couldn't do this, but I did. Like she bought a house by herself, and that's why I do it, because it's just it's part of what gives you your fuel for those moments that are more difficult or challenging or more hoops to jump through. It's everyone should get that experience, and everyone should have that feeling of safety, and like that they're finally there and they can take care of themselves and be safe. And especially nowadays, like clients that I just got in, please get us out of this 1-bedroom apartment with our 60-year-old and in shelter in place. Please, we need to get out. Like just it really makes me happy to be able to help people like that.
Victoria, with all these things, and there's others you were telling me about that you're doing creatively with other people too.
Yeah.
What's your big why? Why are you doing them?
I love, like I guess Linda was saying, I love houses, I love architecture, I love art. I love where we live. We live in one of the most beautiful parts of the world. But really, my absolute favorite part is that moment where the life and change meet, where you're either helping a family who has outgrown their space or who have moved on to another chapter in their life to get to that point. And you got to be part of it. A lot of my clients have become my friends. I had clients who came to my wedding overseas, and it's a joy. It's really a joy when I run into them in the grocery store and the kids are like talking to me and telling me about what cookies they're allowed to have and stuff. And I'm like, hi, Mom. Okay, I'll talk to you later because the kids want to talk to me. It is part of the fabric of what I consider my own community too. And this has actually helped me learn more about my own neighbors, a lot more than I knew before. And I think that it's very eye-opening, and similar to Felicia, I feel blessed. And it actually also helps me with my mental state. I had a pretty hard time for a couple of weeks right when we first shut down, just trying to keep everything together and be the responsible adult in the household. And I have 2 very close friends at work who we call each other our work wives, and we always check in on each other. And they were like, how you doing? Are you working out? Are you doing something for yourself? And I realized, oh yeah, I need to do that. And staying busy, being productive and serving others actually helps me stay calmer and be better at what I'm doing. So I think that is overall like a win-win. And it's very meaningful. It's the best part of the job.
I love that. I love that. Okay, I'm going to combine a couple of questions. So, what is the best time to connect with people when you're trying to do this? And what tools, I know Linda mentioned Moom, or devices are working best for you, like FaceTime on an iPhone or whatever, or Facebook or whatever. And then also, when you do that, what has gotten you the most interactions and the most contacts? What events? So I'll start with you, Felicia.
So I'm a big social media person. So between my Instagram, Facebook is actually sort of my biggest audience. And so I think that, you know, connecting with people there has been really beneficial. I think it sort of has transitioned. So I think when all of this started, it was sort of the social media thing, and everyone was home and available. So you could, you know, post something in the evening or at night, or, you know, do a Zoom update, whatever time of day. But now people are sort of creating some new normals for themselves, and they're not as available in the middle of the day like they were. And so what I'm finding is that my connect time is the time that normally I would do an open house. So it's like the 12 to 2 or 12 to 4 on, you know, on a Sunday has been a really good time for me to do my outreach to people, because I'm not showing, you know, I'm not doing open houses for the most part. With my buyers, we're looking at properties during the week, and people are sort of taking advantage of their weekends with their families. So, you know, for me, it's been, you know, FaceTime. So for the most part, I will text someone and say, hey, what you doing? And then I'll get a response, and I'm like, are you up for a FaceTime? You know, and they'll say yes. And then I'll just sort of check in right there at that point, keeping it short and sweet also, because a lot of people are checking in with a lot of people. So just being very mindful of everyone's time. But I think when all of this started, everyone was available. There were 100 Zoom meetings a week. You know, you can jump on at any point and learn something or talk to anybody. And so now it just seems like things are getting a little tighter. And so I'm just a little more mindful of time. And like I said, I am old school. So I send out a mailer every single month to my sphere, and you know, I live in the community and I can walk the community also. So it's the, you know, walking in the morning, and people are like, hey, I got your flyer, and I'm like, hey, cool, what'd you think, or you got questions or whatever. So just being able to connect that way has been a big thing. But like I said, Instagram and Facebook, I'm not a Twitter person, but Instagram and Facebook have been really, really good. And then just good old fashioned text messages or FaceTime have worked also.
Love it. Thank you. Victoria, what is it that you're using, and when are the best times, and what has worked? What has been the most effective for connecting and interacting with people?
So I try to check Facebook, Instagram, and do all my main connections. How can I help in the morning first thing? So I can plan for that day. And I try to go out of the house only once every the other day if possible, because I have people in my household who are at risk, and I try to limit that. But I think in order for me to stay organized and be helpful, it helps me to be able to communicate that to others too. Like, I'm doing a grocery run every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Do you need anything? I'd be happy to drop it off. And that helps other people also know my availability, how I can help. When I'm just checking in with people, I love to do it anytime. If someone thinks suddenly comes to my brain, I will text them right away. And I will tell you how many times they'll come back and go, I literally was just thinking about you. I'm like, I know. And there's no accident. There's a reason why I was thinking about you and you were thinking about me. I just want to give you some love right now. And that's like magic. I have gotten referrals during this time. I have been introduced to new clients during this time because of that. The second you think of someone, do it. You know, you're not going to be stuck in traffic, unable to do it. So hopefully, you know, that is, I think, just the universe telling us, connect to those people who are reaching out to you too. Don't let it slip by, because, you know, it's the universe asking you to be there. The other thing that I'm not the greatest at is taking care of myself. So I'm lucky. I have, like I mentioned, my work wives, they're constantly checking on me and making sure, like, are you alive down there? Are you okay? I haven't heard from you for 3-4 days, you know? And it's really nice, because I know my own personality, but they do too. And having an accountability is so helpful. That could be your spouse, your family, your best friend, you know, whoever. Sometimes I have a friend, it's their dog. Their dog at 5:30 is like, hey, it's time for my walk. Let's go, buddy. So it's you know, figuring that out and creating your new normal too. And I think that's just good for all of us. It's healthier for all of us.
Thank you, Victoria. How about you, Linda? So what is working for you? what vehicles, yeah, you mentioned Loom, and then also, you know, what is working to get the most connections?
Loom, obviously Facebook, Instagram. I also like to texts are great. Sometimes I like to shoot short little video texts like, hey, was just thinking about you. How are you doing? You know, that's it, nothing else, you know, and I send that, but I have to wait until when my face is like ready to be videoed before I do that. So so there's that, and then sometimes I like to go old school like Felicia, and I actually did get a response from a couple of clients where I just not very expensive, just sent out like a bundle of flowers, a bouquet of flowers, from my, you know, supporting my favorite local business, to certain clients that I felt like they would appreciate that. So, and just with a short note, like, you know, the world is crazy right now. Just wanted to remind you that there's beauty in the world, and that was it. So, and they all loved it. So, just a few flowers.
Okay, well now to get this related to real estate, have you sold anything from all these social media or community relationship building things that you're doing? Have you sold anything?
Not yet, although we do have a follower that that likes to watch us every single Friday for a weekly wind down. So we actually have people that obviously, you know, like to join us every Friday for a weekly wind down. So,
How about
but
Felicia? Have you sold anything?
So the pandemic started off really slow for me, but my activity online, I get referrals almost daily. And I think I've had 5 transactions so I'll have 5 closings from the pandemic. So it's been wonderful. I mean, it's been, it's definitely working. I think, just sort of like when I went on initially, like the first week the pandemic was announced, I went on, I talked about like, what to do with your mortgage. And I got a woman who called who was from Denver, who had been following me on Facebook when she lived here in the Bay. And she called and she was just like, I want to get rid of my house because I don't know what this is going to do. And I mean, we're going to close on her house, on the next week. And so, people see it. I had a guy call me he's in North Carolina. He's moving to the Bay Area to work for FEMA. And one of his sorority or fraternity brothers is my Instagram friend and referred him to me. And I just got him into a new construction place out in Antioch on yesterday. So, I mean, I don't know that I would have had the opportunity to do the kind of sort of outreach I have because of the pandemic, because I would have been out showing houses or out getting the house ready for the market. But because of the fact that I've had the time to sort of sit down and like, hey guys, with my social media, and those 2 people in particular came directly from social media.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about you, Victoria? Have you gotten some payoff from doing all?
So actually, we had our shelter in place order like the 17th of March, and I received a referral on the 19th, and we went to see property and bought something, closed on it, and they're moving in next week. And I have to say, like, I really did. I'm not one of those people who are as organized as Felicia, like with a mailing system and a whole process behind everything. And so now I'm going to be Felicia's new best friend. She's gonna hate me after this, but
pay people to do that. I don't.
But what I do well is like make myself available. So everybody in my firm is really sick of me saying like, would you like me to do a virtual open house for you? Would you like me to do this for you? How can I help you? And I have done other virtual open houses besides my own listing. And I've offered my own listing to colleagues. If you want to come and have a virtual open house and showcase this property, I'd love for you to get exposure for yourself, practice using the video, and just be there, right? Be there for your audience. I have a lot of audience followers who love design and architecture. They may not be buying or selling real estate right now, but they like my approach. And so for me, that's not where my current referrals will come from. They'll come from my database, my sphere, my colleagues, and that's okay. I'm just trying my best to still be present in a virtual world. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so now what I typically do in the last few minutes of this is I ask people to post questions. So Felicia, there's a question. What do your monthly mailers consist of? Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Unmute.
So I am pulling up one right now so I can read it to you. Hold on one second. And so I send out a card every single month to a certain neighborhood, and what it consists of are the comps, right? So what has recently sold in the neighborhood or what's pending. But the one that went out today for the month of June, it simply reads, buyers' demand is strong right now, and many are simply waiting for more inventory to become available so they can make a move. And so there's this cute couple on the front, sort of waiting to make a move to purchase a house. And then on the back, it just simply says, if you have questions about real estate, or if you or someone you know is looking to purchase a home, feel free to give me a call. Or you want to know the value of your house. That's what it is. If you want to know the value of your house. And that's it. My name, my face, my phone number, my email, website, and all that stuff. And that's it. And then next to that, because it's June, it says Happy Father's Day. So it'll go out in the mail today. Hopefully people will get it by Saturday. And yeah, that's it.
Love it. That's great. Anything else? Any other questions? Anybody in the audience have a question? You can either put it in chat or pull your screen up and wave your hand. We're happy to answer any questions you have. All right, well then, if someone shows up, we'll ask it. So the last few minutes, I kind of go around and ask you if you could give a piece of advice to anyone, to our community here, about ways they can connect or ways they can get very creative about getting out there and communicating with others. What would that advice be? So, Linda, I'm going to start with you and say, what would you advise these guys? What would you say? There's some experienced agents here and there's newer agents.
Well, I think that if you're, obviously everyone's encouraging people to be on social media and that you'll get referrals from social media. But you also have to realize that social media is a way for you to showcase who you are as a person, so that the client can connect with you to see if it's a good fit or a good match for you to be their agent. And so I think that's one thing to be aware of. It's not necessarily always just to like, oh, are you looking to sell a house? Use me. It's really a way for you to engage with them so that they can see who you are and they can get an idea of whether they want to work with you or not.
Yeah, that's so, yeah. And I promise you, I mean, if you're getting political or controversial, not that you shouldn't or you should, on that, but it's also make sure it's a true reflection of who you are, because that every word, everything you do is shouting to a lot of people what your values are. Yeah, love that, Linda. How about you, Victoria? What piece of advice would you share with everyone here?
I think the number one thing is to take care of yourself first. Put the air mask on before adjusting for the passenger next to you. The number two thing is to just be authentic. And the number three would really be just practice. I mean, I'm not a very great technical person, and I'm actually quite camera shy, but I just practice nonstop. My poor husband has to practice on the other side with me. And, you know, now I do like virtual opens all the time now. And they live on the internet, so people can still see me. They can, if you saw the one I did a month ago compared to the one I did 3 days ago, it's gonna be much improved. But that's because of practice, right? What you practice gets better.
Yeah, great advice about taking care of yourself. I had a staff meeting and I just told my staff this morning, number one thing you can do for all of us is take care of yourself.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
Felicia, what would your piece of advice be for everyone here?
I think I would mimic what both ladies have said, but I think I would add that if you're going to embark on this outreach component, be consistent. I think that, you know, it almost feels like a used car salesman coming along when something happens and then out of the bushes jumps the realtor. So it's like, be consistent in what you're doing, pandemic or not. You know, reach out to people after this is over, so that people can expect that consistency. I have mailed postcards to this neighborhood for over 10 years. And so for me to not mail them would be weird. And so, you know, it's expected. And I just would say, you know, be consistent in just the text messages, whatever it is your outreach is. You know, you may not be able to do it as much in the future as things sort of hopefully get back to a new normal. But you don't want people to think that you only come around when you need something or you don't have an item of value for them. So I would just say, you know, be authentic, be consistent, and don't always ask for things. I think that's another thing that, you know, people sort of think about, you know, here comes the realtor begging for business. I mean, you know, you could clearly come, you know, like Linda said, and just sort of offer something and like say no strings attached. And as long as you're authentic in that process, I think people would appreciate that. So I think that's my takeaway.
Thank you. That is so great. Well, I can't tell you how great this has been. Great ideas. So people were taking notes. We want you to know that on Bridge MLS's website, all these masterminds we've been doing with top agents, the videos are on the bridgemls.com. The next meeting, so Victoria, thanks for that advice. I'm gone next week. I'm taking off with my family up to Donner Lake and take a little time off after 90 days solid of going 110 miles every day. I'm gonna take a breather. So I won't be doing a panel next week, but the following week, 2 o'clock Thursday, we're gonna have another panel. I will announce it soon. I have several people lined up, but I'm not ready to announce it yet. And it'll be a good one because we're gonna have a little more time in between to prepare. So I will see all of you 2 o'clock Thursday, 2 weeks from today. I believe that's the 25th. And I want to thank you all for coming and joining us. And we will also be sending this recording out. So Felicia, Linda, Victoria, oh, so fun. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Tina.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.